So now let's start our business program. The first participant who is going to present to us the information about Portugal is ZNV Consult company. And we welcome all visitors who are thinking about moving to Portugal and are looking for real estate there, and everyone who's still in the process to choose the most profitable and nice premises. I hope this presentation will significantly reduce the number of white spots and fill in gaps in your knowledge of Portugal real estate market. So we invite Julia Dyachenko.
Hello, my name is Dyachenko Yulia, and I represent the company ZNV Consult. And a little bit about us. So our goal is to make it possible for everyone to buy real estate and move to Portugal, and of course obtain a residence permit even in the conditions of COVID-19. And we provide services such as purchase of residential and commercial real estate, both at your own money and using a mortgage, obtaining a residence permit including the Golden Visa program, it's a very interesting program, tax, accounting and legal support, consulting, venture funds, securities market, and of course we have our principles of work, and the first of all is personal approach. So assessment of the client's capabilities and needs and selection of the most effective realization option. Of course, we support our clients at all stages. We help our clients from the beginning to the completion of the deal, and we're not only consult, we also do a lot of work. And of course, we're focused on results, and we find the best solution and to help our clients to implement it. And today I would like to tell you about several types of visas and grounds for residence permit and other opportunities. Sometimes it can be a little bit boring, but of course when we're talking about boring, it can't be inspiring, but this information is very important for you to know. So before you come into Portugal, you need to find out which Portuguese visa or residence permit you require to legally enter and stay in the country. Because it's very important to be legally in the country. Portuguese immigration differs depending on your nationality, the purpose of your stay, and your intended length of time in Portugal. Non-European nationals who wish to stay longer than 3 months, however, will need to apply for a long-term visa or Portuguese residency visa before arriving, which allows them to apply for a Portuguese residence permit after arrival. Those who fit into this category include those who work, the self-employed, students, those intending to life of savings, retired people, and family members. So, what is the Portuguese residence visa? This is a visa for a 4-month period in order to request a residence permit after arrival. This can be granted for any of the following reasons. It can be employed work, self-employment or entrepreneurial activities, scientific research or teaching, study, student exchange, internship or voluntary service. It can be also higher education mobility programs for students already residing in Portugal who want to further their studies, family reunion, pensioners and people with income. The Portuguese residence visa can be obtained as a Schengen national long-stay visa. It's type D, granted to individuals who will be working, studying, or permanently residing in a Schengen area country for a set time. This can be issued as a multi-entry visa that allows travel to other Schengen countries, provided the holder meets certain criteria. The working employment Schengen visa is the most common type of long-stay visa. If you obtain any type of Portuguese residence visa, you are required to apply for a residence permit upon entering Portugal. So, what is residence permits to work in Portugal? With the residence permit you can apply for will depend on your employment situation. The first one is self-employed workers. It has two types: for self-employed workers with residence visa and for self-employed workers without a residence visa. So the application for residence, it's for self-employed workers with a residence visa. The application should be scheduled and submitted personally on a standard form signed by applicant or his/her legal representative. The application may be submitted at any SEF's Directorate or Regional Delegation, which, after proceeding and decision, will forward it to the Directorate or Regional Delegation of the applicant's area of residence. I'll tell about necessary documentation for this type. So it's two recent identical photographs, passport or any other valid travel document, valid residence visa, evidence of a sufficient means of subsistence, evidence that the applicant has adequate accommodation, permission for SEF to check Portuguese criminal record, except for under 16 years old, evidence of founding of a partnership according to the law, or service contract with the company as a liberal professional, a supporting document with the necessary information for checking the registration within a tax authority, supporting document with the necessary information for checking the regular payment of Social Security during the tax exemption period, and where applicable, a written statement issued by the representative professional association on the fulfillment of the conditions to become a member, or declaration confirming that the applicant holds the necessary qualifications to perform a certain profession, provided that that profession is subject to a certain qualifications in Portugal. The next permit is for highly skilled migrants. Without prejudice, the European Blue Card or of the residence permit for highly qualified activity in certified companies, tech visa, legal frameworks, the application for a residence permit to exercise a highly qualified activity is formulated by scheduling by the applicant or by the hosting entity company. It must be submitted personally on a standard form signed by the applicant or his/her legal representative at any SEF's Directorate or Regional Delegation, which after proceeding and decision can forward to the Directorate of Regional Delegation of the applicant's area of residence. All documents you can find, of course, in the website of SEF. The next one is European Blue Card. This is the residence permit enabling its holder to live and engage a highly qualified activity in the national territory. The application for this residence permit is scheduled and submitted the same as previous on standard form, and so on. Another type of visa is a startup visa. I will tell you about this a little bit later if we have enough time. But I would like to tell you more about relevant topic to our conference is golden residence. So the rules governing the granting of residence permit for investment enable third country nations to obtain a temporary residence permit to conduct business activities with a visa waiver to enter national territory. The beneficiaries of ARI Golden Visa are entitled to residence visa waiver for entering Portugal, living and working in Portugal on condition that they stay in Portugal for a period of 7 or more days in the first year and 14 or more days in the next years. Visa exemption for traveling within the Schengen area, family reunification, applying for permanent residence, applying for Portuguese citizenship by naturalization, provided all other requirements set out by the National Act are fulfilled. All third country citizens who conduct an investment activity as an individual business person, or though a company is set up in Portugal or another European Union member state and who, in addition, are stably settled in Portugal, provided the citizens fulfill the quantitative requirements and the time requirements set out by the relevant legislation, may apply for a residence permit for investment by one of the following routes. There are a lot of, actually. What are the rules? It's capital transfer with a value equal to or above 1 million euros. The creation of at least 10 job positions. The purchase of real estate property with a value equal to or above 500,000 euros. The purchase of real estate property with construction dating back more than 30 years or located in urban regeneration areas for refurbishing for a total value equal to or above 350,000 euros. Capital transfer with a value equal to or above 350,000 euros for investing in research activities conducted by public or private scientific research institutions involved in a national scientific or technological system. Capital transfer with a value equal to or above 250,000 euros for investing in artistic output or supporting the arts for reconstruction or refurbishment of the national heritage, though the local and central authorities, public institutions, public corporate sector, public foundations, private foundations of public interest, networked local authorities, local corporate sector organizations, local associations, and public cultural associations, pursuing activities of artistic output and reconstruction of maintenance of the national heritage. The next one is capital transfer of the amount of 350,000 euros or higher for the acquisition of units of investment funds or venture capital fund of the funds dedicated to the capitalization of companies, capital injected under the Portuguese legislation, whose maturity at the moment of the investment is at least of 5 years and at least 60% of the investment is realized in commercial companies with head office in national territory. The next one is capital transfer of the amount of 350,000 euros or higher for constitution of a commercial society with head office in the national territory combined with the creation of 5 permanent working jobs, or for the reinforcement of the share capital of a commercial society with head office in national territory already existing, with the creation of or keeping of working jobs with a minimum of 5 permanent jobs and for a minimum period of 3 years. And the last one is family reunification. And the next one is golden visa. Portugal has a residence permit program for investors. You may know it as golden visa, which enable non-European country citizens to invest in Portugal and obtain a temporary residence permit. The applicants may qualify for golden visa via one of the following investments. The first one is real estate. The acquisition of real estate with a value equal to or greater than 500,000 euros. The acquisition of real estate with construction dating back more than 30 years or located in urban regeneration areas for refurbishing for a total value equal to or above 350,000 euro. This type of investment may be made by more than one individual as long as each one invests at least 500,000 euro or as shareholder of a single member limited company. So the next type of investment, it's capital transfer. A transfer of capital to Portugal of at least 1 million euro, including investment in shares. A transfer of capital equal to or greater than 350,000 euro that is aimed at the developing and enhancing research activities developed by public or private scientific institutions integrated into the national scientific and technological system. A transfer of capital equal to or greater than 250,000 euro that is aimed at the investment or support of artistic production, recovery or maintenance of national cultural heritage, though through certain legally defined institutions. A transfer of capital equal to or greater than 350,000 euro for the acquisition of units of investment funds or venture capital funds dedicated to the capitalization of companies and incorporated under Portuguese law, whose maturity at the moment of the investment is at least of 5 years and at least 60% of investment is realized in commercial companies with head office in Portugal. And the last one is job creation. What is it? This is creation of at least 10 new jobs, capital transfer in the amount of 350,000 euro or higher for incorporation of a commercial society with head office in Portugal, combined with the creation of 5 permanent working jobs, or for the reinforcement of the share capital of a commercial society with head office in Portugal, already incorporated, with the creation of maintenance of working jobs with a minimum of 5 permanent jobs and for a minimum period of 3 years. The amounts for the minimum quantitative requisites for investment may be reduced by 20% when the investment is carried out in low-density Portuguese territory, defined in Portuguese law. What I would like to mention next is about income tax rates in Portugal. So Portuguese residents must pay personal income tax on their earnings. Most workers are taxed automatically through their payslips, but everyone must still complete an annual tax return. Married couples in Portugal must submit a joint return. To calculate the relevant tax rate, the couple's collective income is divided in two. So the tax rates are from 14% until 48%. It depends on income. And also I would like to mention about non-habitual residency, NHR. So Portugal offers a special regime for the new residents. Generally speaking, this regime allows other types of foreign source of income to be tax exempt in Portugal if it may be taxed in the country of source in accordance with the applicable tax treaty, and the income is not sourced from a tax haven. To qualify as non-habitual residency, an individual must meet the following requirements: become a tax resident under Portuguese domestic legislation and not having been taxed as a Portuguese resident in the 5 years prior to taking up residence in Portugal. An individual is taxed resident in Portugal for any year in which she stays in Portugal for more than 183 days continuously or not during a 12-month period which begins or ends in that tax year, or she has a residential accommodation available in Portugal in any day of that 12-month period used as the individual habitual abode. Any day or part of the day spent in Portugal will count as one day of the individual stays overnight in Portugal. Residency is established as of the first day of the permanence in country. Employment income can be exempt from PIT provided that it is taxed in the source state according to the applicable tax treaty. If no treaty is applicable, the income is effectively taxed in the source state and it's not deemed as derived in Portugal. So, and the other income, foreign source dividends, interest, capital gains, and rental income, together with self-employment and professional income, in this case only if derived from high value-added activities, can be exempt from PIT if the income can be liable to tax in the country of source according to the applicable tax treaty or to the Model Tax Convention, OECD Model Tax Convention, and it's not deemed derived in Portugal and it's not deemed obtained in a tax haven. So I think that the most information I would like to give you, that's it. So if you have any questions, please contact us and we help you with your question. Thank you.
Hello, Julia. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Yes, hi. Thank you very much for a very interesting presentation. I think that our visitors now know much better the real estate market in Portugal. We have several questions from our visitors. The first question comes to us from Brazil. Is there any interest to consider the pandemic moment to investors overseas? And for those who is looking for different locations rather than their native to invest in real estate?
Excuse me, could you please repeat the question because connection is not very good.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Is there the right moment to think about overseas investments Then to think about the investments in the native real estate market.
I think yes, it's a really good moment for that.
Yeah, because we think that after the end of the lockdowns, the prices will nevertheless start to go up.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, then the question from Liliana from Portugal. What meaning freelancers in Portugal?
The freelancer means that you can work or do any small business activities without registration as a limited company. So, as an independent made services provider agreement,
Yeah.
instead employment while selling your product or services. It's also called recibo verde.
Okay, the second question from Liliana. What is the NHR regime, non-habitual resident?
Non-habitual resident. Okay, it's a tax regime which has been created to improve Portuguese international competitiveness. And this regime targets non-resident individuals who are likely to establish a permanent or temporary residence in Portugal.
Okay, and what are the benefits of this NHR regime?
This regime established under certain conditions IRC exemptions on foreign source income, so as well as limited 20% taxation of income from employment and independent personal services. In both cases, it's deriving from listed high value add activities. And also extrans in the regime that became Portuguese tax resident as from the 1st April of this year are liable to a 10% tax rate on pension income instead of the previous exemption.
Okay, so you mean the pension income, it depends that this regime can be used for those who already retired. Yeah, and the people who are moving to Portugal just to spend the nice time to have the rest after.
Portugal is having good time.
Yeah. Is it really popular to use this regime? Do you have a lot of requests from your customers?
Right now, I think I can't answer this question, but I don't have statistics right now. But we can do some research, and everyone who is interested in this information can make requests to us, and we can answer a question not only in this conference but also after.
Okay. And in total, the situation in Portugal now, is it really strict lockdown, or it's more or less possible to walk, to move around the country?
It's more or less possible. It's not total lockdown like it was in spring, in March actually, but also we have some restrictions, and we have limited time walking and so on, especially during weekends. So we can work, but what about having good time? It's limited.
Okay, I see, like everywhere, unfortunately. Yeah, well, but we're sure that we will overcome all these difficulties, yes, and you will have a lot of international clients. And we wish you success, and thank you very much for your speech and that you visited our conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.